Okay, this is the continuation of the book of First Kings, chapter 7. Now it's going to be subtitled, what's it? The Temple Furnished. Right, so it says here, verse 13. And King Solomon sent and fetched Hiram out of Tyre. Now, if you read this, you think like he just sent to call him as if he was some kind of peasant, because the king of Tyre is also named Hiram. Hiram is a name associated with these people that live over there. Just like how you will not get a dark skinned person when you hear, oh yeah, Timmy is about to come, or Brad. You know, oh, those are caucus names. When you hear an let me see, Mohammed, Ishmael, you hear all those names. Well, in America, you might think of a dark skin like a Jake, being a Muslim person. But if you say that here, Arabs, that's the first thing that comes to your mind, because that name is associated with them. Just like if you hear Tyrone, you don't think of some caucus dude, walking around and stuff like that. You think of a Jacob descendant in your head, and how that you see him when you hear his name. You know what I'm saying? So same thing with Hiram, but seeing we are disassociated, I think I used that word correctly. We're not familiar with those names of the Bible, so we don't necessarily get people in our head when we say these names. Nowadays, if you say David, you might get a caucus kid in your head, because these Edomites done took the names of the Bible and then adjusted it. Like a Levi, which is Levi, but now the Amalekites call themselves certain type of names. Should be, Solomon. They call themselves those type of names. Because they want to put themselves up in the book. But yeah, hey. Anyway, so okay, Hiram. That's not talking about him. It's talking about his servant, because it shows you right here. No, wait. I'll get to this later. And so you have here the book of Second Chronicles, chapter 2. Sorry. Yeah. Second Chronicles, chapter 2. Yeah, I thought so. Second Chronicles, chapter 2. Okay, so it says here, verse 1. And Solomon determined to build an house for the name of Yahweh. And a house. By the way, the Chronicles is a book of Chronicles, like records of things that happened. First Kings, that's when it happened. But Chronicles is the documenting of it in chronological order. And Solomon out 60,010 men to bear burdens, basically to work, and 1 score is 20, so 4 score is 80,000 to hew in the mountains, so to cut trees, and 3,000 men to oversee them. So he had overseers, like, they tell you what to do and look if you do it good, because they're better at the work than you, and that's why they need to guide you, like, no, you need to do it like this. Verse 3, because contrary to popular belief, you're not alone. Sorry. Came in my head. You are not equal to other people all the time. You know what I'm saying? Some people are just greater at things than you. So they're better, and you are greater or better at things than them. Certain people and stuff like that. And certain people are just average, and therefore they sell their souls and for a few seasons, and then you see them on television, like you're looking at them like, that thing ain't got no talent. Just like Robert Johnson. But why did the caucus uplift Robert Johnson so much? Because he taught them that through Satan worship you can make music. That's why they like that guy. But they're not gonna say that part out loud. These devils are devils worshippers, right? Have you seen what they did to rock and roll? How they changed it? Hail Satan! No, 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 no. Bash, bash, bash. Be looking at what? Back in those days, rap music was not that violent, so I looked at them like that. I saw the devil, like Satan. Anyway, another thing. You are not independent. Everybody should stop saying that they're independent. Let me give you an example of a fact. Are you a businessman? Are you a businessman? I make my own money. I depend on no one. Shut up, fool. Because you, I said it like, I'm not calling you a fool as a fool. I said it like Mr. T. I pity the fool. But anyway, the point is that if you go and buy your stuff at the grocery store or any type of market, sucker, you are dependent on someone. Because if they stop bringing the food in, you're going to starve to death with your money in your asshole. You're going to starve to death. You are dependent on someone. And let's say you have your own land. You live off the grid and all that there. You're still going to depend on someone. You know what that someone is? The Heavenly Father. You're going to depend on rain. If he doesn't rain for 3 months, you're going to go out there, especially if you have children living off the grid, you're going to go out there and basically trying to do barter, which is this. You're going to do barter, which is you're going to try to exchange things that you have that you think people need, you know, but nobody will need you because they got everything from the supermarket and stuff like that. And if it isn't supermarket, then it's just the market. And if it is not just the, because when you go to the market, back in the days, like here, when you go to the market in different countries and stuff like that, right? Then you will see this being put up on display. You have East Indians there too, by the way. They're all over the fucking place, but they love their country. They love their fucking country, right? You know why they ain't there? Because their country is shit. That's why they ain't there. But anyway, that's why they come all the way over to the other side of the world. Think about it. What are these Asian people doing in these other countries? I mean, you wasn't slave. Why are you here? The Arabs. Why y'all here? Why y'all here? We here because we have to. These devils stole everything from us, and all our money is here. And that's the same reason why you're here too, because they broke your country. So now you're in the midst of them trying to have a living, or else you're going to suffer poverty, which is what they created. So now it's beautiful that it's happening to them. Starting with America, they're complaining, oh my God, the money, I'm lose my job. Anyway, so when you go to these other countries, this is the Netherlands, by the way, as you can see here. If you go to these other, you can see them, by the way, too. If you go to these other countries, what will you see? You will see them going to work. This is all job. This is all work. These people, no, I don't think it's them. Whether it be the ones that they hire to go climb these to go climb these hurtful trees, they will hurt you. look at the how you call those things? Thorns. Huh? Hey, shit. Well, whatever. These things, they taste kind of good, but yeah, they make your mouth yellow. But it hurts. It hurts to climb to get them. I'll tell you that. And if you're stupid, you will break it, and then yeah, it stop. You stop. You know. I mean, but if you're smart, you just pick it. This thing instead of chopping the tree down, because you do have dumb people. They chop the tree down. I'm telling you, people are very stupid, no matter where you are. This is a very high tree, and not that one. No, it's higher than this one. It's not that one. It's this, but I don't know why they're stupid enough to not show the actual thing. It's very high. It's very high in the sky. You can't just get it. Like you're gonna throw something or something. No, these are at the top of the trees, man. You want to climb it? Look how tall it is, man. No, this is. Oh, this is it. No. What? This is something else. This is palm tree. No, that's not it. Oh yeah, that is it. But anyway, this is it. This is the tree. And then at the top of the tree, this grows. Get it then if you... Now you got ladders and stuff like that, so it's easier. But my point is that they do a lot of work. You know, they do a lot of work. And therefore, when you look at the... Oh, I think I saw it. What? Oh, yeah, this isn't. Yeah, but you can't see the measurements. And let me just leave that, man. The thing is that when you go to the markets and stuff like that, you see all the work that people have been putting in, fishing. You see all the fruit and all that. This is jobs. This is working. So you depend on these people that did the work, and then you come to the market and then you buy their stuff, which they worked for, because I didn't know machines like that over there. Well, nowadays they do have machines, but getting in that tree, yeah. Let me see you do that with a machine. You can do it with a equipment, with a contraption or whatever they call that thing, but I don't know if they have that there. I haven't been there for a long time. So anyway, the point is that they do work, so you still depend on them. And if you say you want to live off the grid, then you go live in the forest or something like that. You always got to depend on the Heavenly Father no matter what. But still, now it's going to be closer. You're really going to pray. You're going to pray like, please, Lord, give me a rain for, my crops, a rain for washing, drinking, feeding the family and all that type of stuff. Maybe you want to go alone. Okay, then it's better because now you don't have to worry about them. But now you have to go out there. If you want meat, you got to go hunt. Or you could just simply go to the supermarket. So you're still dependent on someone, So don't think you're independent. As King Solomon will tell you why he himself was not independent. He will show you right here. Going on. So Second Chronicles chapter 2 verse 3. And Solomon sent to Huram the king of Tyre, saying, as thou didst deal with David my father. So Huram is the same man that dealt with David his father. Is not another man. This is the king of Tyre, the king of Canaan, is a Canaanite. Tyre is Canaan. Sidon is the sister city to Tyre. Sorry, wait. Okay, check this out. The Tyrians were known as workers in dye from the Murmoc shells. What? From the shells of the Murex shellfish. This purple dye was highly valued and held royal connotation in the ancient world. Yeah, because it was very hard to get. How many shells? 10,000. So in ancient times, extracting this dye involves tens of thousands of snails. Yeah, but not for a gram. Oh, damn. I did read it somewhere, but I thought it was actually less. I thought it was a few thousand, but damn. Not hundreds of tens of, tens. Oh, okay, cool. 10,000 just to make a single gram. And how much is one Tyrenian purple right now? How much is 1 gram? 1 gram is like 3,050. So 3,050 euros. But it fluctuates. It's not gonna go to like 1,000. Not that I know of. I don't buy it. I don't check it all the time. But I looked up a few prices and I was like, that shit didn't go. That thing is not going low. Because it's a very... it's like a really working thing. You need to really work. Come on, man. First and foremost, you need to dig in the ocean, man. You can't really... What? You need something to help you get these. So now it might be easier, but it might be easier, but you do have to do a lot of killing. I tell you that. And then eventually you can make this of these snails. Here. It's these animals you gotta kill. You gotta find them first. You gotta find them first. You got to find them first. Look at them inside here. He's there. You gotta find them first. And you can make a different shade. I was looking for it. I wanted to click on this one because I saw it. I wanted to say you got different shades because you got a certain type of blue also of them. And of course, you got this type of purple-ish, reddish type of thing. Then you got the darker purple. You got this reddish, more even bright, not bright, but red type of thing from these ones. They're all different races or species, I should say. Is one race of shellfish, but different species. Like one race of sharks, and then different species. Like, I think I said it right. Tiger shark, hammer shark, all that there. You know, the great gray shark, motherfucker, not white shark. Great gray. The white part of him is the weak part. Like they want to call the great rhino, something like that. The white rhino is the bigger one, but it's gray. I ain't playing those games. It's the great gray rhino, the gray rhino, and then the smaller one they call the black. We call that nigger rhino right over there. Yeah. I'm not playing that dumb game. They're both gray. I just say the smaller rhino and the bigger rhino. I'm not putting you in front of it, even though you ain't white. Still not gonna say it because I know what you mean. You know what you wanna mean actually. Like, I'm gonna blackmail you. That goes back to 2-3 caucus males. They're going to treat you as a black person, so they're gonna blackmail you. So 2-3 caucus males, Edomites, they treat another caucus male as if he was a so-called black man, and then they do fucked up shit with him. They blackmail him. Yeah, I'm not falling for that dumb shit, boy. I'm not using those stupid words. You know. Anyway, in the Dutch they call it chantera, or fraud is actually woman. Like fraud. All these words go back to something if you look it up. If you just check it out, be like, oh, that's why you devils use it now. The word fraud goes back to fraude, which goes back to woman. Only a woman can stab you in the back like that. Because if an enemy, if you fight with a person like a man, you know, in school or whatever, when you're a teenager or maybe even a young adolescent, young adult, you fight with them 18 years old, 20 years old, you know, all bloody and all that shit. We just give an example, right? Cool cat. And when you see that guy 3 years later or something, a year later, you're not even going to hate this dude. You know what I'm saying? Instead of whatever. Might be even the next day or 2 days after that, you don't even hate them unless you really, you know, on that murderous tip. That's a different type of breed. I mean, the average person is not going to do that. But that same person, if he has a girl, stab him in the back by sleeping with his friend with the ring on that you bought for her or a chain. Yeah, every day you wake up, you're going to think of her and you're going to want to kill that person. Your biggest enemy that you fought with, you're not even thinking of killing like that. But that's where the word fraud comes from, because she's the one that can commit adultery. You can't unless you sleep with another man's wife. Then guess what you just created? You just created fraud. Because you made her commit fraud against her husband. Anyway, fraude, which is womanhood, something like that. Anyway, enough of this. So this purple, okay, it also gave the Phoenicians, by you Greeks, their names from the Greeks, this word, which means purple people. The city-state was the most powerful in all Canaan, after surpassing its sister state, Sidon. Because the Phoenicians did not call them, the Canaanites did not call themselves Phoenicians. They called themselves Canaan. And these Edomites know it, but what do? They change things, and therefore you don't know anymore. You don't know what is what. So when they're talking about the Canaanites, but they use the word Phoenicians, you have no idea what race he's talking about. And then when you Google it or you see their computerly generated things, you see Arabs. He looked like an Arab. Look at him. I didn't even type this. I typed in Phoenician. What did I actually want to do? I know what I wanted to do. But people. You see this. You see Arabs. These are the Phoenicians. This is a Shemite. These are Hamites. These are Shemites. These are two Shemites of Abraham. That in the beginning they were dark. One of the sons of Ishmael is called black, like black skin. That's his name, Kedar. He's named dark skin. That's how dark he was. As soon as he came out, they named him Dark. Called him Kadar. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, nowadays, if you look at their thing, they're going to show you that these are the Phoenicians. These are Shemites. These are not Hamites. Because people don't... Look here, look here. Who are the Phoenicians? They're going to show you a bunch of Arabs, a bunch of Shemites. Because they're lying. Because the thing is, people don't know the history anyway. So they could just fool you. But if you know the Bible, if you know the scriptures, if you know who is who, then you're going to just look at this like, wow, this is why the Heavenly Father is going to destroy you Ishmaelites too. For pushing shit like this. But it's Esau that's gearing them up. Gassing them up. They're going to be, man, you're going to be set on fire with all that gas in you. You're going to blow up. This is the route of the king of Tyre. But enough of this. I'll leave this link in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. Okay. So now going back to 2nd Chronicles. Because it's about 1 Kings 7. And Solomon sent to Huram, which is Hiram. But Chronicles, they changed names. I'll give you an example. They just do that. 1 Chronicles chapter 9, I think. Here. It says here. And the son of Jonathan was... So this is the house of Saul. Literally the house of Saul. As in the literal house of Saul. Because there's only one house of Saul. If you are from Saul, then you are of the house of Saul. If you are from David... Is everybody the son of David? No. Is Yahushua a son of David? Yes. So why can't you get that, but you really think that everybody is of the house of David? No, they're not. If you are of the house of David, then you are the same bloodline as the Lord Yahushua. No, you're not. What you are is you cling to the house of David. And you do have people that are of the same bloodline as as the Lord Yahushua. Yeah, man. That's the truth. But yeah, because they are also the bloodline of King David, whether you come through Nathan, whether you come through King Solomon, whether you come to any one of David's kids, you are the blood of David, the bloodline of David, the house of David. And the son of... Okay, so it says here, Ner begot Kish, and Kish begot Saul, right? Saul. And Saul begot Jonathan, and this one. Okay. So now going to this one, Jonathan, and the son of Jonathan was Meribbaal. And Meribbaal begot Micah. Well, if you... Jonathan. If you... Sorry. If you... Let me see. You have Jonathan, and here, Second Samuel chapter 4, verse 4. And Jonathan, Saul's son, had a son that was lame on his feet. He was 5 years old when the tidings of Saul and Jonathan came of Saul. What? When the tidings came of Saul and Jonathan out of Jezreel, and his nurse took him up and fled. And it came to pass, as she made a haste to flee, that he fell and became lame, and his name was Mephibosheth. So I was looking for that name. So now when Mephibosheth, the son of Saul, the son of Jonathan, the son of Saul, and stuff and so forth. Okay, so here his name is Mephibosheth, and then his son here, 2 Samuel 9:12, and Mephibosheth had a young son whose name was Micah. Okay, okay, cool, okay. So Micah and Mephibosheth. But when you go to Chronicles, it says that Jonathan, his son, was Meribbaal, and Meribbaal, his son, was Micah. Micah, with H. But they do that with a lot of different names and stuff like that. That's because the translation went somewhere left or something like that. But also sometimes the people have two names. The people do have two names sometimes. like Jacob and Israel, or Benjamin and Benoni. Benjamin and Benoni. The reason he's called Benoni is because Rachel was talking her language, just like her father, which is from Aram, but they are not the bloodline of Aram. They just live there. Just like how you are not an American, I'm not a Europe. Well, let me say it different, because you'd be for this right now, we are not in the lands where our ancestors were from. That's what I mean. I'm not, the better one. A Chinese person living in South America or Canada, wherever you are, or in France. Just funny looking at them speaking French. Just it's just a different sight. Seeing a Chinese person speak East Indian while living in India. There's not a lot of them, but a few of them are there. Some of them are in Africa, and they speak that language. It's just funny looking at them. It doesn't make any sense. These people are only supposed to speak Chinese. Their face demands it. Anyway, they are not Americans. They're not. They are Chinese people living in America. That's actually a better example. It's like this. That's the same way Laban was. He just lived there. Just like Abraham. They all came from there because the Shemites went into the land of Aram. That whole region is called the land of Aram. The Shemites went there, which is also scripturally called, locationally called, historically called the land of Shinar. But then it's named after a man because he was great in that region. And just like the land of Canaan, it wasn't called Canaan. He made it Canaan because he went there, and then all his descendants started to be there. But collectively, they are called the Amorites. Collectively. But there's actually an individual tribe called Amorite. And there's also an individual tribe called Canaan, the Canaanites. But collectively, all of them, they are all called Canaanites. And sometimes they are all called Amorites. You can get that in Genesis chapter 10, where they are all called Amorites. But when you go to the first time we had a meeting with them is Joshua. They was not just only Amorites. There was different tribes. Okay, so right, so I think I had this enough. Okay, cool. So Huram, which is Hiram, in the outside of the book of Chronicles, it's Hiram. As you can see here, I'm gonna give you an example of a fact. So if you type in here Hiram, then you will see it only comes 22 times in the scriptures. In 18 verses, 22 times. And then when you type in, and by the way, look here. 2 Samuel's, 1 Kings, 1 Chronicles, Hiram, king of Tyre. So here in 1 Chronicles, they do put Hiram. Wow. Hiram, right? Okay. So this shows you that they're just playing, being a devil. But sometimes it is real, because sometimes, like I just gave you the example, Benoni, that's his name. But you speaking of his language, look here. What's his name again? Abraham said it. Genesis 22 and no, 24 actually. He said, and Abraham said, Genesis 24 and 2, and said to his eldest servant of the house that ruled over all that he had, put, I pray thee, thy hand on my thigh, and I will make thee swear by Yahweh, the power of heaven and the power of the earth, that thou shalt not take a wife unto my son Isaac of the daughters of the Canaanites where they dwelt. But you can clearly know that the Amorites were there, the Jebusites, the Perizzites, the Amorites, I already said that. Girgashites, Perizzites, Hivites, Jebusites, Amorites, Canaanites, all of them, they were there. Hittite already said. There's more. Avites, Hittites, Avites, there's more. Joshua 13. But they're all collectively called Canaanites, or in other scriptures, they are all collectively called Amorites. That too. Anyway, So yeah, their name kind of changed too, but that's another thing. Daughters of the Canaanites, among whom I dwell. Here's the point. But thou shalt go unto my country. Where is his country? And unto my kindred. Where is his family? You never ask yourself, like, so where does Abraham come from? Because people don't think about that. They only know about Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Yo, what about the rest? Because he was cut off from them. The Lord cut him off from that family. So then later on, we started to fight them. We started to fight our family members, like the people of Aram, like Laban and stuff like that. His descendants, we fought them. King David married into them. One of the daughters of one of our forefathers is our forefather. Joshua 24 shows you that Nahor, the brother of Abraham, and the son of Terah, both of them are sons of Terah. Abraham and Nahor are the sons of Terah. All three of them are called our forefathers, because it says it right here. All three of them. So they are our forefathers. Joshua 24:2. And Joshua said unto all the people, Thus saith Yahweh, the power of Israel, your fathers dwelt on the other side of the flood in old time. This flood is talking about the river Euphrates and the Pison that was there. That was very powerful, dangerous waters. If you step up in it, you die. Well, not like that, but if you're trying to go, well, we're smaller now. When the Pison wasn't as powerful, I looked up history stuff and stuff like that. That thing would kill you. It's too powerful. That's why when Behemoth was walking in the water, he wasn't afraid. It specifically tells you that. Specifically tells you that Behemoth, he was not afraid because the water can't do that to him. But if you go in the water, bloop, 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 you're gonna die because it's too strong. You can't fight it. You can try if you want to, if you don't want to live no more. Being drowned is not a fun thing. So it says right here, on the other side of the flood, in old time, even Terah. This is not talking about the flood of Noah, because Terah did not exist. This is talking about the flood of the river Euphrates. Mesopotamia, the land of Shinar, the land of Ur of the Chaldees, where we come from, Abraham. Even Terah, the father of Abraham, and the father of Nahor, which are our fathers. These are our fathers. He is our uncle, our grandfather, uncle. That's him. And this is our great-great-great-great-grandfather. And this is our great-great-great-grandfather, his father. So still our father. All of them are the same bloodline as him. Right, so, and they served other gods. So they did serve other gods. But the Lord said, get away from them. I don't want you to hang around with them. So it says here, but go unto my country and to my kindred, and take a wife unto my son Isaac. So Isaac was, Abraham told his servant to go get a family member for Isaac. So Isaac married his family, which was Nahor, the brother of Abraham, the brother of Abraham, his descendants. Genesis 22 shows you that. I'll just stop right here because I see myself going up in that dimension again. Anyway, Nahor, the brother of Abraham, got himself some children from Milcah. And these are the 8 children that he got. And one of the 8 was called, and Bethuel begat Rebekah. Rebekah is the wife of Isaac. So who is Rebekah? Rebekah is a family member, a cousin. Actually, I think it's his niece. But anyway, Bethuel needs to call Abraham uncle. And Isaac calls Abraham father. Rebekah calls the brother of Nahor. Well, wait, let me say it again. Abraham, his son is Isaac. Nahor, his son, one of his sons, is Bethuel. So Isaac and Bethuel, they're equal on the level of cousins. Bethuel Bethuel needs to call Abraham uncle. And Isaac needs to call Nahor uncle. And then Bethuel got a child. And that child, her name was, well, the other one was Laban, but her name was Rebecca. And then Isaac, she would actually call Isaac uncle. But anyway, Rebecca then became uncle's wife. Rebecca became Isaac's wife. Not, sorry. Okay, I'm all over the place. And then Laban, her brother, because it says right here in Genesis 24:15. And it came to pass before he had done speaking that, behold, Rebekah came out, and who was born to Bethuel, the son of Milcah, the wife of Nahor, Abraham's brother. That's it. And then she had a brother, Laban. Okay, Laban had 2 daughters. Now, Isaac and Rebekah had a son. Well, they had 2 sons, Esau and Jacob. But yeah, Jacob, he went and married the daughters actually of Laban. Here's 20, and Genesis 25:20. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife. So, well, let me finish this. Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Padan Aram. Is he a Syrian? No, he's not. He's called a Syrian because he lives in that region. Why? Why is he not a Syrian? First Chronicles chapter 1. You can find this in Genesis and stuff like that. Genesis, I think 11 or 12. But here is better because, well, not better, but it's more order. So, here comes Shem, Arphaxad, Salah, Eber. Everybody that comes from Eber is a Hebrew, right? Pelech is a Hebrew. Reu is a Hebrew. Serug is a Hebrew. Nahor is a Hebrew. Terah is a Hebrew. Abram, who the same as Abraham. See, his name changed there too, but this is official. Everybody should know that. But sometimes Esau messes around. Sometimes it's actually they have 2 names. Sometimes their name changes. You know, like Esau and Edom, it's the same, but his name just changed. Benoni and Benjamin, it's both of them is his name, but one is in another language, and the other is the one that we speak, the language of Canaan. And Abraham, he spoke the language of Aram, which they now call Aramean. But you get Arabs in your head when you hear that word Aramaic. Those are not Aramaic. The thing is, Esau came there and raped them white, just like he went to South America and did the same. Look at them. Okay, so he did the same thing there, but there's still the seed of man there. The Israelite man is still there, so don't get that twisted. Same thing what happened to the region of Aram. They became white because Alexander fucked them out of their minds, and then they turned white themselves. And his group, Alexander and his men. So the son of Abraham, Isaac, My point is that Terah is a Hebrew, so Abraham is a Hebrew also, or else you cannot be it. It comes from him. And Terah had another son. Terah had another son. So if Abraham, here you have it again. It's the bloodline again. But that First Chronicles is just in order. This is in order too, but I mean, like, you know, it's extra stuff with it. That one is just compact right then and there. Boom, boom. It shows you right here that Terah had a son, 3 sons. Abram, Nahor, and Haran. Haran died, by the way. And Haran had children, Lot and somebody, Ishka. I know exactly who that is, but if I just read the Bible, I can't prove it to you. If I read somewhere else, I can definitely prove it to you. And it makes sense because everybody went into the family. Why not her? So, I'll leave that. I'll give you a hint. She's very familiar. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it. I don't know, but you know, but I do know that the elder apostles was reading the Josephus and stuff like that, and the book of Jasher, if I'm correct. I have never read it. I saw a few things, and I saw this by accident, man. It's like the Most High led me toward it. That's what I really think. Like I was really struggling, like who is Ishka? And then I found it. I was like, what? That makes so much sense. Now I don't have to break my head no more. Anyway, see this name? I just gave you the hint. Anyway, let me go on. Now, it says right here, because we did take each other's daughters as a niece and uncle and stuff like, we did do that and stuff like that. But anyway, that's before the law came of Leviticus chapter 18, before we were a group of people, because in the beginning we were few. Okay, but let me go on. Now, the point is that these two are Hebrews, and therefore they are not of Aram. And if you didn't know, the word Syria means, Syria is actually Aram. Assyria is Ashur, and stuff like that. Okay, now I think I'm going too much in the other videos. I already talked about it there. I'm like 40 minutes deep. Didn't even do the video of First Kings 4. So sorry about all that. Let me finish this chapter, and then I will make another video apart about the First Kings chapter 7. But let me go on. Now it says right here. So it says right here, and Solomon sent to Huram, which is Hiram, the king of Tyre. So his name is Hiram. Oh yeah. Here. So here I typed in Huram. Okay, only one time in the Chronicles you see Hiram, right? So this will cause confusion if you don't know. Now I type Huram, and now you will see only in pardon, only in Chronicles does that name come forth spelled in this manner only 12 times in the Bible in 11 verses. So in one verse it's mentioned 2 times here. So this word is, you would think it's another word. It's spelled different in the Hebrew, but it's the same man, right? So, and Solomon, because it says right here in 1 Kings chapter 7, verse 13, and Solomon sent and fetched Hiram out of Tyre. So he came to Jerusalem. He came to, what was it, Shiloh? He came to the Israelites. No, this is another one. It's spelled the same thing still, but let me read further. Saying, so as thou didst deal with my father, the David my father, and didst send him cedar to build him an house to dwell therein, even so deal with me. And when did he do that? Well, he did that here. 2 Samuel 5:11, and Hiram, the king of Tyre, sent messengers to David, and cedar trees, and carpenters. Again, because these same type of carpenters King Solomon got also. This king had abundance, and that's why I was talking about that everybody needs somebody eventually to do things. Like, for example, nobody could build like the Canaanites. You couldn't. And Tyre surpassed Sidon in many things. It says right here, the Tyrians, Tyre, were known as workers of dye from the shells of the murex. I don't know how to pronounce that thing. Murex shellfish, stupid name. This purple dye was highly valued and held royal connotations in the ancient world. Purple was a royal color because only royalty could afford it, because it was massively expensive, and therefore if you saw somebody walking around with a silk purple dye thing clothing, you know you got money. The Native Americans used to color their clothing with different types of dye of plants and stuff like that. The Israelites used to do it too. Well, the native are Israelites, but I mean like in 1492 and stuff like that, and before that. You have here Exodus 25 verse 5, and rams' skins dyed red, and badgers' skins. This is actually a antelope. If you look up the word in the in the Hebrew, Exodus 25 and 5, it says here badger, Hebrew 8, 4, 7, 6. dolphin. No, see, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. If you actually look it up, you will see that it's talking about this thing. Tahashkin, if I'm correct. Here. It's not. It's this. No, it's from. This is it. This is it. This is that animal, an ancient big goat, an antelope. He's like a real big goat. He's big, bigger than these ones. It's like this one. This one. I think. I wanted to say I don't know how you call it in the English, but now I know. It's a mountain goat. It's a mountain goat. These are big. Well, it's not this one. Like, he buffed up. This guy. he just looked funny. He just looked funny. But that's not what it is. It's this family type. These families that can moonwalk on a nearly slow. I don't even know how the hell they do that. Like, it don't make no sense. You got to be really strong to do that, you know. Okay, I mean, can you hang, like, see, can you hang 3 minutes from this one thing here? Like, just hang. It's harder than you think. Right. Maybe you can do 3 minutes. How about 5? How about that? Yeah. But anyway, this is the animal. It has nothing to do with no. This is just stupid. This is just stupid. Makes no sense. Because this is an unclean animal, and this is used for the covering of the ark. Well, the tent of the ark. Yeah. If you use a tool against it, you already polluted it. How much more an unclean beast? It is not a sheep. It is a. I don't know if it's extinct. It's just a goat, like a big goat, like a tall one, like, you know, like the mountain ones, but not buffed up ones. But anyway, let me go on. Right. So we used to dye our clothing red with fruit or other type of things. For example, if you wanted to have it yellow, your cloth. See, your cloth. If you wanted your clothing, because back in the days we used to make clothing out of these things, this type of cloth. But anyway, you could just make it yellow if you like yellow. You know, and it won't this color will not get out of it, I'll tell you that. But where does it come from? A plant. Simply a plant. Just grind it. Dry it, because it's wet when you grind it up, like this, and this thing, but then you grind it. I don't know how you call it, but yeah, this thing, but not a sef, but the other one, raspa. Oh yeah, raspa. This one, you do that, and it's going to be wet. By the way, everything is going to be yellow, and it's not going to go out. Anyway, that's how we used to do it. So now going back to over here. So he sent and fetched Hiram. That's not talking about the king, because it's going to explain to you here. Okay, also, so deal with me. Behold, I build an house of to the name of my power Yahweh, to dedicate it to him, and to burn before him sweet incense, and for the continual showbread that David ate, which he was actually not allowed to, but yeah. But because for hunger's sake and for sustainability's sake, that he doesn't die of hunger, they were allowed to eat it. But it was told them, you didn't have sex, right? Because if you have sex, you're going to be in trouble. And none of them had sex, so they could eat it. If they had sex, they had to wait 3 days. You can't touch the holy things while just having sex. You need to wait 3 days for that. It don't work like that. You can't have sex and then go to war. It's not a good idea. Your spirit is you kind of unclean, weak. That's why back in the days when Jakes had discipline in the 80s and 90s, he was strong. You always saw a lot, just majority of the fighters were dark skinned. And then they got settled, you know. They got rich, and then basically life became comfortable, and they didn't have to struggle and fight anymore to prove themselves to the devil. And then everything just got weaker. I'm not saying all the Jacob descendants are weak, but if you look at the 80s and the 90s and stuff like that, those were men. When I looked at them, I was like, yeah, I'm proud to be a lick ball. Oh, yeah, I feel good about my joke. Now looking at these purple-haired niggas, I'm thinking, man, let World War III please come quick, man. Just bomb them. Just bomb them. Wherever they are, Europe, Australia, it doesn't matter where they bomb them. They look like a bunch of females, purple hair, pink. God damn, what? Anyway, and for the burnt offering, morning and evening, and on the Sabbaths, and on the new moons, and on the solemn feasts of the Lord Yahweh our power. This is the ordinance forever to Israel. And the house which I build is great, for the house of our power, for great is Yahweh above all powers. But who is able to build him an house, seeing the heaven of heavens, the heaven and heavens of heavens, the heaven and heaven of heavens cannot contain him? Who am I then that I should build him an house, save only to burn sacrifice before him? So what did he say? Send me now therefore a man cunning to work in gold and in silver and in brass and in iron and in purple and in crimson and blue, and that can skill to grave with the cunning men that are with me in Judah and in Jerusalem, whom David my father did provide. So he provided him out of Judah men for his son. David did that for his son, because he knew that his son would build the Ark of the Covenant, the house for the Ark of the Covenant. So he sent him a man, Hiram. He sent him a man. Verse 8. I'm going to read until 13. Send me also cedar trees, fir trees, and algum trees out of Lebanon, for I know that thy servants can skill to cut timber in Lebanon. See, he needed someone. So that's why I was talking about people, because let me show you right here. No, where is it actually? It's actually in 1 Kings chapter 5. So people think that they're so great that they're independent. You're not independent. Shut up. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. A real person would not say that. You're just a non-playable character in some kind of fictional, dimensional, delusional world that you created for yourself, talking about, I don't need no one. Look, I understand when you say I don't need no one, but anyway, if you really think about it, you do need someone, at least to do something for you. Or you use someone or something. Either you use a car, and then if you have a car, are you independent, Are you independent if you have a car? Nobody's independent having a car in this world, unless you have unless you have like an infinite energy car, which only a few people have upon the planet Earth. I think a male in India and another Jacob descendant in West Africa, he has it. They're trying to kill him like 2-3 times already. Poison. They're trying to kill him. Anyway. And a few, like one Dutch guy, they killed him too. That was a very, very long time ago. But he was in America. I saw his last name, then I knew, oh, he's a Dutch guy. Because I saw the last name, his surname. He's a Dutch guy living in America. I know it because I saw his name. See? Again with the name. That's why Hiram is a Hamite name. Tyrian. Because the Tyrians are Canaanites, just like the Sidonians, but they're different tribes, and therefore they have different skills within them, because the Most High created people like that. That's why Issachar, they're very good at looking at the stars and stuff like that, and then telling stuff. 1 Kings 5:6. Now therefore command thou that they hew me cedars out of Lebanon, and my servants shall be with thy servants. And unto thee will I give hire for thy servants according to all that thou shalt appoint. For thou knowest that there is not among us Israelites any that can skill to hew timber like unto these Sidonians. So nobody was better than them. King Solomon said that. He said that because he was talking to the king of Tyre. He told him like, well, you know we can't do this. We need you. We need you to come here, guide us. That's why he put 3,000 men over the other men and stuff like that, because those guys know what they're doing. That's why we ain't equal. You should never let that spit come out your mouth. That's what you should be doing when you want to say it. Shut the fuck. No, you're not. Nobody's equal. Yeah, go tell that to the guys that was a part of Jeffrey Epstein list. What list? What are you talking about, nigger? Shut the fuck up, boy. I was just thinking about this. It's just funny. What list are you talking about? There ain't no list. What did you see? It's just funny to me that they. I'm not even tripping, because I know, like, well, whatever. There's like Pizzagate. What Pizzagate? What are you talking about, nigger? These people are funny to me. To me, I think they're just funny people. Just looking at them like, what the fuck? What did he just do? He just denied that shit. Oh boy, you funny, you saw. Anyway, so going on. No, it says right here. So, First Chronicle. Sorry. Did I do that? Hey. First Kings. No. I think I clicked it away, didn't I? I think so. Second Chronicles 4. Sorry. No, I didn't click it away then. I think it's here. Yes, it is. Sorry. But anyway, the point is already made that the Sidonians were the ones that knew their stuff compared to the Israelites. So we did need them. So if King Solomon is, I don't even have to say it again. You're not independent. Stop saying that. As a man, you're not independent. Stop it. You're lying to yourself. But you're probably not thinking. A lot of people don't think. And then when I tell them, it's not that they're proud. They're just I never thought about it that way. I met people like that. But other people, they're upset. They visibly, because they're proud. Independent. No, you're not. Do you got a car? Where you get your gas from? You can break people down just with especially proud people. I hate them. They really think that they're better than you, and I'm better than you. They don't want to hear that. I'm not even better. I'm not trying to be. But it's funny to say it to them, because I'm not saying I'm better. I don't. Even if I am, I'm not gonna say it. But it's funny because they hate it. They really think they're better than many people. That's why the Lord hates them. And I understand why. Anyway, so Second Chronicles chapter 2 verse. Skill to cut timber in Lebanon, and behold, my servant shall be with thy servant. Verse 9. Even to prepare me timber in abundance, because he had the stuff. He also had the gold and the silver. And look, it says it right here. Did I jump it? I think I jumped it. Sorry. Second Chronicles chapter 2 verse 7. Send me now, therefore, a man cunning to work in gold and in silver and in brass and in iron and in purple. Here, purple. The Tyrian, purple. It's specifically said here. So this links with the things that we know now of this world, that Tyrian purple is more expensive than gold. How much for a gram of gold today? Where's the gram? This one? Last week. I still don't see it. Today. No, that's not it. That's kilo. 1 gram. This one. Here. But you know, the course goes up and down, but this is it. This is it. That one. Like I said, you could just look it up for yourself. Wait, let me. Here. Today. This is it. This is it. Right. So this is $3,000. Sometimes it's no $4,000, but sometimes it's 3,000 euros. Okay. And crimson, that thing that I just showed you, these different colors, and blue, the thing that I showed you again from those shells. And this was very expensive, very expensive. This was more expensive than gold and silver. You know why? Because you can find gold fairly easy, but this, you got to do work. Even if you find it, you got to do work, and you still need to know the skills to get that color out of it, because you need about a few thousand of them for one gram. That's why it's so expensive, because the guy be doing a lot of work. You know, it takes work. You might be the days. It depends on how many people you do have, but if you're alone, good luck. You're gonna work. And that can scale to grave with the cunning men that are with me in Judah and in Jerusalem, which is Benjamin was there. It doesn't say it, but here, it says right here. Here, Judges chapter 1, verse 21. No, sorry. Joshua 18:28, and Zelah, Eleph, and Jebusi, which is Jerusalem. See, the name of Jerusalem changed also. It used to be called Jebusite, and sometimes it's called Jebusi, which is Jerusalem. Gibeath and Kirjath, where Saul was. He was hanging around there too. 14 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the children of Benjamin according to their families. So who was living in Jerusalem? Benjamin. But who was also coinciding in Jerusalem? Judah. So Judah and Benjamin were in Jerusalem, but a big portion was Benjamin, as you can see here. Here at the border of Judah, here, this is Judah. There is Jerusalem. Here. But here, then, therefore, where Judites were living here. But David ruled from here. King David ruled from there. Which is he was in Benjamin, ruling all the tribes. You know, so it's Benjamin here. It's the place of Benjamin. And then Judah was underneath it. Ephraim was above. Dan was here. No? Yeah, Dan was here. Anyway, going on. So they was there. Whom David my father did provide. Sent me also cedar, fir, and almond trees out of Lebanon. I know that thy servants can skill to cut timber in Lebanon, and behold, my servant shall be with thy servants, even to prepare me timber in abundance, for the house which I am about to build shall be wonderful. Great. And behold, I will give to thy servants the hewers that cut timber, to work, because they went to go cut the wood, and then the Canaanites finished the wood. They worked the wood. 20,000 measures of beaten weed. That's what you're gonna get to. and 20,000 measures of barley, and 20,000 baths of wine. These are this, but not this one individually, but this is what they call a sea of water, or a bath of water, or a bath of oil. They also say that. There's a scripture with that too. A bath of oil or a sea of oil. Here, 20,000 baths of wine. He also gave that to the Canaanite king. Because in this chapter, it says wine, but in other chapters, it doesn't mention the wine. But he gave wine. He did give wine. He gave baths of oil, baths of wine. Nowadays, Esau changed the word bath into something that you put yourself in, instead of basically actual food. This is now a bath. Back in the days, these type of big vessels were to do like this. Wine barrel. These are baths of wine. And it has nothing to do with washing yourself, the word bath. And you have weed. And stuff like that. But anyway, it's more for oil. Well, liquid, not just oil. Sorry, it's not. I didn't mean to say that. I mean, it's more for liquid, not oil. It's more for liquid. You know, wine, oil, the other, you know, other type of drinks and stuff like that. Wine, oil, what more? Yeah, other stuff. Anyway, so that's where the word bath kicks in. Okay, so. Second Chronicles chapter 2 verse. Oh, baths of oil. Okay, baths of wine and 20,000 baths of oil. Verse 11. Then Huram, the king of Tyre, answered in writing, which he sent to Solomon, because Yahweh had loved this people. This is what he said. He had made thee king over them. Huram said, moreover, blessed be Yahweh, power of Israel, that made heaven and earth. So he acknowledged it also, just like Cyrus the king Persia. This, just reading the scriptures, right? It explains to you why the other nations are not going to get exterminated. All of them, they're kings. And they didn't worship the Most High, though. They had respect for him. Some worshipped him, like Nebuchadnezzar, but he hated him too. But the Most High, he chin checked him, and then he was like, "Oh shit! Oh, sorry, Lord! But Esau, in the time of the Greeks, in the time of the Romans, oh man, the disrespectfulness, what they've been doing. It doesn't surprise me that the Most High is going to bye. Obadiah chapter 1 them. Obadiah chapter 1 verse 18 them. Doesn't surprise me at all. I'm looking at the things that they did. I'm like, damn. That's why you gonna not be here no more. All the other heathen nations, their kings and stuff like that, they acknowledge the Heavenly Father. Some respect him. Some even worship him. You know? But yeah, it's not. They are not the people of the Lord, and they know, but they still want to worship the Lord. Look at all these Christians now. They really love the Bible. They think they do. Until they find out that the Lord is a dark-skinned man and the Israelites are the dark-skinned people, so-called negros, Latinos, and Indianos. They're going to be full of rage. Not all of them, though. Not all of them. Some of them are going to be gladder than they already are. And they already spoken to even white chicks, man. White females. Older ones even. Younger ones too, but even older ones. They straight up tell me like, I'll never in my life bow down to a white man. I love you. I'm not gonna hate you. You know, I'm good. That's, you know. But anyway, enough of that. I could say a lot of things what I want, but I'm just leave that. Going on. Now it says right here. Huram said, moreover, blessed be Yahweh, the power of Israel. See, the power, the God of Israel, that made heaven and earth, who had given to David a king, the king a wise son, endued with prudence. Prudence means cautiousness. This one, prudent is better. Act with or showing care and thought for the future. If Esau was prudent, he would have never did anything to the Israelites that he's doing right now. Because if he knows that, he knows the scriptures, but he doesn't care. That's the difference. Esau knows the scriptures. Satan knows the scriptures. Satan and Esau know the scriptures better than anyone can imagine. Better than you can imagine. He knows. He just refuses to teach it because he hates, It's like a cheater, It's like a cheater that shoots up drugs and then, I didn't spell the real what's his name? What's his name again, man? No, I don't. That's this guy. Is it him? No, it's not him. Armstrong. This guy. I typed wheel with paraplegic. I didn't type it good. This guy, I mean. Yeah, this guy he been running amok for years. Winning. He will never admit. He would die before he would admit. This is what Esau does concerning the Bible. He can't. He just doesn't want to. He's the only one that knows that he's doping. He knows. And of course, the people that supply him that shit, he's not independent, motherfucker. He doesn't have it in his laboratorium that he makes himself. Somebody is giving him, and he's paying him a beautiful amount of money. Every time when this guy wins a thing, the person that provided him that drugs is probably sitting in front of the television, laughing and looking at him like, this fucking liar. I just showed you that shit 2 weeks ago, and now 2 weeks later you win and you say you don't do dope. But my pockets is fat from the money that you gave me, and it helps me feed just fatten up my kids, because they don't need that amount of money. No child needs $1,000 in anything a week, yet alone 10,000, 50,000 a month. When they put you on caucus child support, that makes no sense. That money goes straight to the woman, and they know. But they ain't no child need fucking $1,000 a month, a week. They don't even need $1,000 a month. What do they want? Gucci? You just slap some clothing on that little kid, and he good. He warm. He good. He got booger running on them same clothing that you bought for him, so he don't care. Taking his shit in the same clothes. He don't care. It's the bitches. They care. But then again, good for you. You found a female to break you down because you wanted to have sex with a whore. Good. Good for you. You got what you deserve. Prudent. Esau is not it. And understanding. Doesn't have it. Obadiah chapter 1 verse I think 7 or 8. It says, and there is no understanding in him. Esau does not understand. He knows things, but he doesn't understand it. If he did, he would not treat the Israelites like how he's doing right now. He wouldn't do it. He knows stuff, but he doesn't understand. Reading, comprehending are two different things. You can read something, but do you understand? Understand is what thou readest, man. No, he doesn't. That might build a house for Yahweh and a house for his kingdom. And now I have sent, here is what Hiram said, now I have sent a cunning man endued with understanding of Huram my fathers. So now you would think, what did he just write? He said, and this has a meaning for him to call Huram. You see, the king of Tyre, his name is Hiram. But here it says his name is Huram. It's the same thing. And then he sent another man that was also named Hiram. That's who he sent. So King Solomon basically sent to fetch him. And the reason why I have a precept upon this, which is here, is these. Genesis 45:8. So, now it was not you that sent me hither, but the Heavenly Father. And the Heavenly Father had made me a father to Pharaoh. Is he the Pharaoh's father? No, he's not. But did he come in his stead? Like in the presence of his father? Yeah, he taught him a lot of things. That's what your father does. And you have mad respect for your father. Pharaoh respected Joseph. He even called him his father. The Heavenly Father had made me a father unto Pharaoh. Because he came to him with all advice. Like everything that, like life choices advice. They come to you because you got the words. You got the wisdom. You got the experience. But you younger than him. I'm going to give you another example of a fact. What's this here? Another example of a fact. How your deeds can make somebody honor you. The book of Sirach, 38, verse 1. Honor a physician with the honor due unto him, for the uses which ye may have of him, for the Lord had created him. I bet your ass if you got AIDS and somebody cure you of that AIDS, you will never forget that man for the existence of your life. And it's impossible. Unless you're a true blue demon, or a red demon, I should say. But that's not going to happen. Unless you're an Edomite. But yeah, I bypass them because it doesn't even count. Because their nature is like that. So it doesn't even. Look at what they did to the Native American. The Native American helped them. Look at how they paid them back. Anyway, they helped them survive. They couldn't survive a winter. And still they did what they did. So they don't count. I'm talking to normal people here. For of the Most High cometh healing, and he shall receive honor of the king. Why? The physician shall receive honor of the king. Why? If there is a king and his only bloodline is about to die, and he's too old to be like, I can't make no more kids, and you save his son by helping him with the medicine. Well, let me read on. The skill of the physician shall lift up his head. Yeah, because you're going to be whole again. Your neck is going to be, your chin is going to be in the air again. Lift up your head. Because that's why they say, oh, he's down. Who do you mean down? He's sad. Yeah, that's why. Because when you're sick, you down. Or you down on the weather or something like that. Yeah, you ain't up. You ain't up and at him. In the sight of great men, he shall be an admiration. They're going to admire you because you saved a lot of lives through the power of the Heavenly Father. The Lord had created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them. See? So, my point is that you will get honor of the king, and you will get honor of great men, nobles and stuff like that, rich men, princes and rulers and stuff like that, because you can heal their children if they so need you for. Then he will thank you for the rest of his life. And he will defend you too. Like if you're in trouble, he gonna pay you out of jail. Man, you have no idea what people with money can do. That's why Yahushua said, be smart. Make you friends with mammon in this world. Just keep them friendly. Use the world as not abusing it. It's a difference. If you know somebody gonna give you money, right? They always, don't abuse that. Only like, for example, you're about to get kicked out of your house, but you're trying yourself, so you're trying to fix it up, and then you get a letter like, okay, man, we've been waiting for that money for 3 months. We're gonna have to kick you out the house in 2 weeks. Now you're panicking. You go to your friends like, hey man, I just need 500, man, so I can actually pay my stuff off. Just this example, and you might have more than 5 friends. Everybody puts some money together, like 100. And before you know it, you pay 3 months in advance instead of being 3 months behind. Now you pay 6 months. How about that? I'm just giving you an example. That's use the world, but don't abuse it. That's not a good idea. That's not good. Okay. That's one example of what honor can do. So, and they might call you, hey, what's up, father? No, not everybody, but in this case, it did call him father. Judges 17:10. And Micah said unto him, dwell with me, and be unto me a father and a priest, and I will give thee 10 shekels of silver by the year, and a suit of apparel, and thy victuals, food. So the Levite went in. So he made the Levite his father. They did it in wickedness, yes, because if you read the chapter, you go figure it out like, no, they were wicked. But still, the point is, be unto us a father and a priest. Later, the Danites did it too. And here, Isaiah 22:21, and I will clothe him with thy robe, the Heavenly Father said unto that man, and strengthen him with thy girdle. The Heavenly Father was talking about his son. When he dies, his son will rule after him. And I will commit thy government into his hand, and he shall be a father to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and to the house of Judah. Job 29:16. I was a father to the poor, because every poor man Job helped. He helped them, so he became like their father. And the cause which I knew not, I searched out. Yeah, he just trying to look for it, and trying to understand stuff and look for stuff, you know? And then he knew about it and all that there, you know? Right. So, okay, so I'm going to make another video, and then I'm going to go on with the rest.